We're allowing people to come in. They're going to destroy our country. We have to get them out. We have to take them out. So this has to do with the fact that people are coming into our country through our borders. Very sad and very terrible thing is happening, and many of these people are very bad. On her work, and this is, who's heard this, by the way, just before? Who's heard this? That's pretty good. It's amazing how few, because they do it, but I think it's pretty terrific. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. Her pretty colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. "Poor thing," she cried, "I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, oh tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman," sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by her fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and as soon as she arrived, she found the pretty snake she'd taken in had been revived. "Take me in, oh tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman," sighed the vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. "You're so beautiful," she cried. "But if I hadn't brought you in by now, you truly would have died." She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying, "Thank you, ma'am," the snake gave her a vicious bite. "Take me in, oh tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman," sighed the vicious snake. "I saved you," cried the woman, "and you've bitten me, but why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die." "Shut up, silly woman," said the reptile with a grin. "You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in." That's the end. That's the end. The snake. And that's what we're doing. We're taking in people that are very, very dangerous people. We're allowing them to come in, and they're being sent in here by the millions and millions and millions. Following the Eisenhower model, we will use all necessary state, local, federal, and military resources to carry out the largest domestic deportation operation in American history.
For more Trump news, please subscribe.
Title 42, which they ended, to end the child trafficking crisis by returning all trafficked children to their families in their home countries immediately. And to further deter illegal immigration, I will sign a day one executive order ending automatic citizenship for the children of illegal aliens, which brings all of those family members in with them. As the horrific riots in France have proven, we must also redouble our efforts to ensure that anyone who comes to America shares our values and assimilates into our culture. We want people who can love our country and cherish our country. Under the Trump administration, we imposed extreme vetting and put on a powerful travel ban to keep radical Islamic terrorists and jihadists out of our country, and with great success. You know that. You didn't see anything about that for 4 years, did you? And you would have seen a lot of it. When I return to office, the travel ban is coming back even bigger and much stronger than before. The United States will not be condemned for the same fate as countries like France, which are truly going through hell right now. I will also order our government to deny entry to all communists and Marxists as required by law. Our bigger problems is getting the ones
like
that we have here out.
Going through hell. They're probably going to take this down too.
Office, we got some bad people,
well, we can,
Shifty Schiff, and these people
we can do better. We
people.
Can subscribe.
They're bad people. They're liars and bad people. And
by
I
the
believe
millions,
they
and we
hate our
can
country.
Overdo it.
Our Democrat-run cities are more dangerous now than they ever have been in history.
So please subscribe.
Crime has risen 100, 200, and even 300%.
For more Trump news, please subscribe. It is out of control with no end in sight. Just a few months ago, a savage illegal alien criminal in Texas with 4 prior deportations walked into his neighbor's house and executed an 8-year-old boy and an 18-year-old man and 3 innocent women.
2 of whom died immediately, along with a 6-week-old baby and a 3-year-old girl. This all took place in a very short period of time. The same week, an illegal alien in the sanctuary state of California went on a multi-day killing rampage, stabbing to death a 50-year-old man, a 20-year-old college student, and attempted to murder a 64-year-old woman. In the Bronx 2 weeks ago, a savage criminal previously convicted of attempted murder went into the streets and sprayed a hail of bullets into a crowd, one of them hitting a precious 5-year-old girl while she was riding her father's car. In Washington, D.C. on the 4th of July, Washington, D.C., so beautiful and not beautiful anymore. I kept it beautiful. If I saw 1 tent or 2 tents or 3 tents as I was coming in from the airport, I'd have them taken down immediately, because I knew that you'd have 100 tents and 1,000 tents if you don't do it. But you should see Washington, D.C. right now. In Washington, D.C. on the 4th of July, 9 people were viciously shot in a single drive-by shooting that targeted an Independence Day celebration, including a 9-year-old child. It's about time for the federal government to take over Washington, D.C. and run it properly, run it with sense, run it strongly, and end the crime. Washington, D.C., crime has become a crime capital of the world. Our national capital is not being taken care of the way it should be. We have to take care of it. We have to cherish it. We have to love it. And if we don't do that, it's very, very sad. You take a look at the numbers. People don't want to come in anymore. You have tents all over. The sidewalks smell. It's a horrible thing. The federal government has to take it over and do everything that has to be done, and it has to be tippy-top. It has to be perfect, and bring it back and make it better than it ever was, and we can do that pretty easily.
Yeah, if you get rid of Gavin Newsom and the Bidens.
Because the people that are running it don't have a clue, or they do have a clue and they don't want to see it good, but it is really bad. To stop the Marxist prosecutors who release rapists and murderers while prosecuting and persecuting conservatives, Republicans, and others.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical district attorney and attorney general in America for their illegal, racist, and reverse enforcement of the law. To combat the scourge of homelessness that is plaguing Democrat-run cities, I will use every possible authority to get the homeless, drug-addicted, and dangerously deranged people off the streets, and will get them medical care. But we can't have what's happening in San Francisco and Los Angeles and New York and Chicago and every other Democrat-run city. In all cases, they're Democrat-run. Liberal policies that indulge these social maladies are not compassionate at all. They're an insult to law-abiding, hard-working citizens who are living in danger. They're living in danger. People that love their country, and they can't believe what's happening. They can't walk down the street. Atlanta, you can't walk down the street for a loaf of bread. You'll end up being shot.
Like that's happening tonight.
But then they come after me for a perfect phone call. You believe I make a perfect call? I have lawyers on the other end of the phone, on the other side. Nobody said, oh, it's inappropriate. I only talk appropriate. I know how to talk. And I have a perfect phone call. They said, well, was he pushing the election? No, I was complaining about a rigged election. Very simple. And the other lawyers on the phone, representing the state and the Secretary of State, if I said anything wrong, they would have said, we don't like what you said. How dare you say? No, they didn't say that. In fact, we set up another call for the next day. But now I understand that they're looking at that call. Think of it. You got murderers all over Atlanta. Nobody can walk out, and they come after me. Remember the perfect call I made with Ukraine, the president of Ukraine, Zelensky. That's why I respect him, because he could have grandstanded and said, oh, I felt threatened. He didn't feel threatened because it was a perfect call. Fortunately, we had it taped. This is even more perfect, but they want to do anything because they're sick, deranged people. And I don't think the people of the country will stand for it.
On day one, I will sign a new executive order to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content on our children. We want great schools to lead to great jobs and to great lives and great success. I will keep men out of women's sports. How ridiculous, how ridiculous. How ridiculous. And I will sign a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. Could you imagine 15 years ago having somebody stand up here and say, we will stop child mutilation? Who would ever think of this? Our country is sick. The world is sick, frankly. And I will restore the Trump ban on transgender in the military. I had it stopped, totally stopped, and they approved it. I will not give one penny to any school that has to. If you have a vaccine mandate from kindergarten through college, you don't get anything. You don't get anything. I will also continue my long record of standing up to Big Pharma by creating a special presidential commission to investigate what is causing the decades-long increase in childhood diseases, autoimmune disorders, autism, obesity, infertility, and other chronic health problems. Just as I did 4 years, for 4 years we did this, I will fully uphold and support the Second Amendment. Nobody has ever done a job like I've done on the Second Amendment. And I will tell you, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, but we defended the Second Amendment like nobody else could have. I will defend innocent life.
Yes, you do.
And nobody's done more than I have. And I will move heaven and earth to fully secure our elections. Our goal will be one-day voting with only paper ballots.
The way it should be.
And of course, a thing called voter ID. The reason they don't want it is because without it they can cheat. Actually, 88% of the Democrats want voter ID, but the leadership doesn't want, because they can't cheat. Much harder to cheat. We want voter ID one day. We want paper ballots. We'll have elections. France just had an election. 36 million people. By 10 o'clock in the evening it was over. No complaints. It was over. You had a winner. You had a loser. But we go back to paper ballots, one-day voting. You can have one-day voting. It'll be so good. You have these elections. They last 54 days. Where are those ballots? And I said, well, let's see. I think we moved them over to a different county. But until then, Republicans must compete and we must win. We have to win. This is what we must do to restore our country to greatness. The USA is a mess. Our economy is crashing. Inflation is totally out of control. China, Russia, Iran, North Korea have formed together as a menacing and very destructive and quite powerful coalition. Very powerful. Our currency is crashing, and we will soon no longer be the world standard, which will be our greatest defeat in 200 years. If we lose the world standard in currency, that would be unthinkable. Couldn't have happened 3 years ago. Couldn't have even happened. But it won't happen with me, not even a chance. Just like Russia would never have invaded Ukraine. Never, never, ever. And by the way, they didn't. You know, a lot of Democrats even say, I gotta say, Trump kept them. They didn't. They didn't even come close. They would have never done it. And China would not have even thought about raiding Taiwan. If you took the 5 worst presidents in the history of the United States and added them up, they would not have done near the destruction to our country as Joe Biden and the Biden administration have done.
Clinton came close.
We are a failing nation. We are a nation in decline. And now these radical left lunatics want to interfere with our elections by using law enforcement. It's totally corrupt, and we won't let it happen. 2024 is our final battle. With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state. We will expel the warmongers from our government. We will drive out the globalists. We will cast out the communists, Marxists, fascists. We will throw off the sick political class that hates our country. And we will rout the fake news media. We will defeat crooked Joe Biden, and we will drain the swamp once and for all. We made a lot of progress, but it's pretty deep. And in closing, the great silent majority is rising like never before.
And under our leadership, the forgotten man and woman will be forgotten no longer. With your help, your love, your vote, we will put America first. We will make America great again. Thank you very much. Thank you, Turning Point, and God bless you all. God bless you all.
God bless you,
Thank you very
Donald.
much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for watching.